All right. To start off here, Black Lives Matter. This one teacher's upset about this, the yearbook not being let to go. She says Black Lives Matter is a human rights issue. It's not a political issue, as the principal says. What are your thoughts?
Um, Black Lives Matter. I think it is very much a political issue,
Sure.
and I understand, in the moment, what's going on in 2020 and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I still think all lives matter. Okay,
Of course.
and I think that if you're going to put that in there, you do have to share an opposing view. And so I understand the backlash on it right here, and I understand. I've read a different article, a further article, talked about they did go back and redistribute the yearbooks, but they put a note in there saying that that we are not in support of this, and the district is not in support of it. But
Sure.
I think there should have been a little more oversight in the beginning, and so wouldn't have allowed something like this to happen in the first place.
Yeah. The thing about this that's so troubling is that kids are really vulnerable to a far left ideology like this because it's so well packaged. It's called Black Lives Matter. Who the hell would go against something called Black Lives Matter? I mean, it just sounds like you have to support that. If you're any kind of a human being, of course you support Black Lives Matter. But you can't paint something this way. It's completely different. Your organization is called Reaching America, and you're working to address social issues in the black community that don't have the sinister ideology behind them like BLM does. Tell us about your organization.
And so what we always talk about, we're addressing issues not based on right or left-wing views, but what makes sense for a more united America. And so that's why I don't get hung up on the Black Lives Matter, because to me, all lives matter.
Sure.
And so one of the bigger issues that we address in our organization is energy poverty. And energy poverty doesn't have a color. Energy poverty exists when low-income families or individuals are unable to afford basic heating and electric needs.
Right.
And if you were struggling to pay your electric bill before COVID, more than likely you're going to be struggling after COVID's over with.
Makes sense to me. I want to shift gears here for a second. A 16-year-old named Alberto Ramirez was arrested in New York City Monday after killing a man named Derrick Velasquez, an innocent father of two. Alberto was a gang member with 3 gun busts in 4 months and had his bail reduced by a liberal Bronx judge. And with the bail reduction, he was able to get out of jail after all those gun busts and then shoot and kill this other young man. The radical left loves these no bail policies, loves making it easier for criminals like this guy to get out of jail easy. And we see the consequences, don't we?
Rob, it's unfortunate because that happened in New York City, but it's happening all across America. Right here in Maryland, the same thing happened. I just went to a press conference a couple of weeks ago because the carjacking in Prince George's County, Maryland is so bad, it announced an entire initiative for carjacking. But at this press conference, I had an opportunity to speak to one of the police officers there, and he said during COVID, they had 1 juvenile locked up during the height of COVID because of this release policy that they have right now. In D.C. right now,
Crazy. Their
their policy is, even with carjacking, they can't even hold these kids for over 24 hours if they're underage.
Unreal.
And so how do you stop them if you can't hold them?
You can't. And this, I think they just think that it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better, but someday we'll hit the utopia and we'll all just kumbaya under the rainbow. It ain't going to work that way. No. Derrick, Hollie, thank you so much, sir, for the time. It's good to see you as always.
Thank you for having me, Rob. Appreciate it.
Of course, yeah.